Before we start, a little scene setting to ground us. Silent Hill F is a new, standalone entry in the series, set in a fog-drenched Japanese town, written by Ryukisi07 and developed by Neobards for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. The official tagline invites us to find the beauty in terror, and that's exactly what this episode is about. How a horror game can feel like a poem about being human. The first thing Silent Hill F gave me wasn't fear, it was quiet. That strange, heavy kind of quiet where the world feels padded, like every sound has been wrapped in cotton. I love when a game lets me stand still and listen before it asks me to act. The fog here isn't just atmosphere, it's a language of its own. It tells you what the characters can't say out loud. It blurs edges, hides answers, and slows the heart just enough for your thoughts to surface. And in that softness, I felt something rare for horror. Permission to be vulnerable. One of the big lessons this game pressed into me is that life doesn't split into pretty and ugly. Sometimes beauty grows through the cracks. Sometimes terror wears petals. Silent Hill F keeps asking, gently but insistently, what do you do with the parts of yourself you're ashamed of? Do you lock them away? Pretend they're not there? Or do you sit with them long enough to see a pattern, a story, a strange kind of grace? The game never scolds. It simply places you beside the hurt and lets you notice the ways people protect themselves, how they bloom, and how they break. I've always believed small towns have the loudest secrets. Everyone knows of each other, but not everyone is known. The streets in Silent Hill F feel like that, familiar enough to navigate, distant enough to unsettle. I found myself walking slowly, reading the space like a diary with half-torn pages. The lesson for me wasn't monsters lurk in every corner. It was grief tends to settle where routine is strongest. When the day repeats, so does the pain. And sometimes, horror isn't the creature at the end of the hallway. It's the memory you pass every morning on the way to school or work, pretending not to look. If you strip away the jumpscares, the puzzles, the boss rhythms, Silent Hill F is a story about shame. How it binds, how it isolates, how it blossoms when we try to bury it. I kept noticing how characters wear the kind of polite masks we learn very young. I'm fine, it's nothing, don't worry about me. But the body always tells the truth. Hands fidget, eyes linger too long, footsteps hesitate at thresholds. This game taught me to pay attention to the micro moments, to the kindness of naming what hurts, because once you can name it, you can begin to carry it differently. I love that Silent Hill F doesn't treat choices like a morality scoreboard. There's no neon good ending arrow. It's more honest than that. Real choices live in the grey, where every option costs you something, and growth looks like accepting the price with open eyes. That's a kind of maturity games don't always ask of us. Not pick the right path, but own the path you pick. Even outside the game, that's powerful. It changed how I think about apologies, boundaries, and when to stay versus when to leave. Ryukisi07's writing is famous for this quiet, morally grey texture, the kind that rewards reflection more than reaction. I used to think bravery in honor meant not flinching. Now I think it means flinching and continuing anyway. Silent Hill F nudges you towards a softer definition of courage, sitting with uncomfortable feelings, resisting the urge to explain everything, letting ambiguity breathe. The monsters are real, both the ones with teeth and the ones that live in our chest, but the game reminds us that gentleness isn't weakness, it's a strategy for staying human. Good horror doesn't just scare you, it clarifies you. Fear strips away the decoration and asks, what do you really care about? When the fog thickened and the world pressed in, I noticed my mind reaching for anchors. A friend's voice, a half-remembered melody, a promise I'd made to myself on a good day. That's what this game taught me about fear. It can be a compass if you listen. It points to whatever you're not ready to lose. And once you know that, your next step gets simpler, even if it's still hard. There are tiny mercies tucked all over Silent Hill F. A room that feels safe for no logical reason. An item placed somewhere considerate. A line of dialogue that lands like a hand on your shoulder. I love those moments because they mirrored something true about life. We survive by collecting small tendernesses. A text at the right time, a favorite song, a minute of sun on your face after a great week. This game reminded me to keep a pocket for those, to notice them, to save them, to offer them back when someone else needs one. I didn't realize how much of Silent Hill F is about adolescence until I caught myself reacting like a teenager, defensive, impatient, secretly desperate to be seen. Coming back to the series as an adult didn't make me immune to those feelings. It made me more aware of them. The game became a rehearsal space for something I'm still learning. How to forgive my younger self for surviving in the only ways I knew how. How to let new, kinder patterns take root where old ones once protected me. When the credits rolled and the world exhaled, I didn't feel finished. I felt collected, like I'd gathered a handful of truths worth keeping. Here's what I'm taking with me. Beauty and terror often share a border. If you sit quietly, you can trace the line. Secrets are heavy until they are spoken. Then they become shareable. Not every choice has a clean right or wrong. Sometimes the goal is to choose honestly and live gently with the consequences. Fear can be information. Ask it what it's protecting. Small tendernesses keep us human. Notice them, name them, pass them on. So, what did I learn from Silent Hill F? That horror can be a lantern, not a tunnel. That shame loosens in the light of honest language, and that the softest version of courage, showing up with your whole, unedited self, might be the bravest thing you will ever do. This is That Ambient Gamer, and this is what I learned. If this video resonated with you, tell me a sanity thought you keep nearby when the fog rolls in. I will share mine in the comments too. Thank you for watching.